The Chinese Communist Party's neo-colonial and mercantilist ambitions are now out in the open. A latest Daily Mail report has revealed how 1.95 million registered CCP members infiltrated defense firms, consulates, tech firms, automobile giants, banks, pharma majors, and media firms around the world. China's ulterior motives have come out in the open after a sensational database leak that took place in 2016 was passed on to the newly formed Inter-Parliamentary Alliance on China, a group comprising 150 legislators from across the world in September this year. The information was also leaked to a consortium of 4 media houses. These loyal CCP workers have therefore been lobbying at all levels of political and economic life across countries like the Netherlands, the US, the UK, Germany, and Australia. These CCP agents have infiltrated some of the biggest multinational corporations you can possibly think of across a diversity of sectors. Some of the big names include US-based defense firm Boeing, the Netherlands-based aerospace company Airbus, automobile giants like Germany-based Volkswagen, and London-based Jaguar and Rolls-Royce. It also includes pharma giants such as Pfizer and AstraZeneca, and leading financial institutions and banks like Standard Chartered, HSBC, and ANZ. The leak has also revealed that the Chinese Communist Party has infiltrated Australian, British, and American consulates in Shanghai. Sky News host Shari Markson said in a report that the CCP has set up branches inside Western companies. So, the CCP members have not just infiltrated into companies and other institutions of the Western world, but they are answerable directly to the CCP and its president, Xi Jinping. And while all the 1.95 million CCP agents might not be involved in spying activities at Beijing's behest, it defeats ordinary prudence to think that the loyal communist workers would not be doing China's bidding in the free world. Think about it. This leak actually exposes a huge security breach. By successfully planting its officials in multinational companies and leading tech and defense firms, not to forget consulates too, Beijing can actually step up its intellectual property theft campaign in the US and Europe. Global companies which have been reportedly infiltrated will now have to think of security mechanisms to weed out Chinese influence. These CCP workers would have been lobbying for China's interests across the world by infiltrating consulates and political systems too. Yet others would be making China rich by either stealing intellectual property of the Western world or encouraging multinational corporates to choose China over other options in terms of trade and investment. At the same time, most of the global media firms have chosen to stay silent about the sensational leak, which again shows the level of Chinese infiltration in this sector. The leak, revealing about 1.95 million CCP workers, is the first true estimate of how big the Chinese threat is. Beijing is trying to lend its authoritarian characteristics to the entire free world. Literally, no sphere of life is free from malign Chinese influence, and these are the first signs of the paper dragon's attempts to achieve its neo-colonial ambitions.